Alrighty, this is the same type that I had ages back. I've actually just got this one for probably using around here because my other one I've put in my lunchbox to use at work because, simply put, well, some houses don't have the electricity connected when we get there, and sometimes we also get there at night, and yeah, then you're trying to move furniture in the pitch black and it's no good. So I'll keep this one for around the house and just leave the other one in my lunchbox. Finally, I have an idea of the amount of time it apparently runs for on different amounts of LEDs. 1 LED 98 hours, 3 LED 32 hours, 7 LED 15 hours. And yeah, groovy. What you saw before, surprise, surprise, aside from one brand about 2 years ago that you could only buy online, and the same as Australia, has finally got themselves Gasifier camp stoves. You know, we're only like more than 5 years behind the US in doing that. But instead of being like the US ones 5 years ago, where you had like a, you know, little battery pack AAA thing, AA, with a plug that plugged in, ran the little fan, and some of them even had a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug option. This one you're seeing, the BioLite one, oh, the price was just only $274 or $271 or something ridiculous like that. But what it has a Peltier in it. So that's right, it generates its own power from the heat, and that is what runs the fan. So it just acts as a normal stove until the Peltier heats up, which probably wouldn't be very long with the flames licking against it. And then, boom, off we go from there. It starts running the fan in the base, and you have a low speed and a high speed, as you did with the old American Gasifier stoves. And yeah, it has like a power button or whatever it is to turn it on, and it might control your high and low selection as well. And also, as I showed there, it's a little bit hard because of the way the shadow was. The thing has a USB plug to charge your damn phone off, basically, or your camera, or whatever, GPS, whatever. Just a little USB charging port on the side that also runs from your Peltier there. I don't know if it's got a built-in battery or anything that runs the fan initially. I've got a feeling it'll, you know, need a little bit of heat, but I've seen Peltiers start to work out of the heat of one candle. And there's not much of a flame in one candle. It's probably a hotter flame because it's paraffin wax, but there's not much of a flame in one candle versus a whole bunch of stuff packed into one of those little Gasifier stoves. Anyway, it was intriguing that we got those. We also got porta potties, which are your little, let's face it, the shit in the box devices, your little chemical loos, whatever you want to call them. Usually you have to hand pump the damn things. I absolutely hate the bastards, to be honest. Yeah, first year I went to my sister's, they had one there, and I don't like them. It's as simple as that. The ones they have now, you actually have like 3 little batteries in the side, just little AA's or AAA's or something like that. They go into the side of the toilet and you press a button and it flushes itself, like it's a little electric button you press, and it just, little pump runs and flushes it for you. I didn't show that, but that was also there. They, I think I showed this in one of my other videos. I did actually. They got a new Coleman hot water on demand system that's red instead of the old green thing like I've got in there. That has quite a number of design flaws. I'm not sure that they've ironed out all the design flaws in the red one, or it's just another, you know, American designed and then Chinese built, cheaped out heap of shit. I've talked previously, and I'm not going to talk again, about all the simple, straightforward design flaws in the green Coleman hot water on demand systems. And they got a lot of electronics. That was just to meet all the international standards in them. But the electronics generally aren't the problem in them, really speaking. Anyways, I've showed that before and I've talked about that, so that's that. But I went and got some nice boots, some really nice boots that are bloody expensive, and I'm not going to reach in there, and you can look them up online. They're probably cheaper online. Blue steel, Indonesian made. There's about 5 different orthopedic bloomin' US orthopedic standards or awards these things have got. They are, you're going to shit yourself when I say this, they're $170. But not to worry, because I actually got ripped off one time and paid $275 for the same thing. There's another one that was $189. It's got a little bump cap piece that goes up around here. That's got seal cap underneath, but they have like the rubberized piece goes right up to about here. And I just thought, nah, I'm not going paying another $20 extra for that. And these have like 3 layers in the sole, and I mean, honestly, it's like being on a fucking trampoline just about. I started to get a little bit of tendonitis in my front right leg. I had that before at the piggery, hard boots walking on concrete. Here I am with these $29 boots that I had that were just like the steel cap shoe that's laced up. $29, yeah, pretty hard sole, and I think tromping up and down that ramp on the truck has actually started to give me tendonitis. Plus all the brick steps into some of these houses mightn't have really helped the situation, especially when you're carrying, oh, you know, only about a lousy £100 worth of shit on a regular basis. And it's not so much carrying the stuff, it's carrying the stuff with hard-soled shoes and then going up steps and down ramps and that are also very hard while carrying such a big weight and doing it at a reasonable speed. Which, you know, you might think things like that shouldn't be carried at a reasonable speed, but hey, this is just the way it is in this job. And with these boots, they're so damn comfortable and so springy that I'm not likely to get tendonitis. And I'm also not likely to roll my ankle because my ankle is right about there and I've still got a fair bit up there. You may notice these aren't like the other ones with the zips on the side. The shenanigans that happened with the right boot zip last time, I don't know if I want to have the zips on the side anymore. Maybe a bit more effort than they're worth. I got a shoehorn the other day, and I bet you if you ask the majority of millennials what this thing is in an interview down the street, they wouldn't even know what it is. But I got that not to destroy the back of those cheaper steel cap shoes, and I'll probably use it with these as well. They're not bad things, actually, the old shoehorn. For all the people in this country that destroy the back of their shoes and flatten them down, I definitely recommend them. Usually only old people use them, but plenty of my old relatives did, and I see good use for them, and I've got into sort of using one more recently of late. Anyways, might as well get on with it and play with a reciprocating saw, and not so much that, I've just got to move all the stuff. There we go, it's good vision. Get all the stuff under there. I've got to move and start putting in a stack. I'm actually going to put it sort of in between the cypress. I've got a patch there where there's not really any trees that I've planted, and it's sort of a little bit away from some of the cypress pines because one of them there is not hanging over the fence so much. And I reckon I can quite safely light a bunch of cypress pines there, so I'm going to stack it all onto that stack. And there's a couple of other bigger hunks I've got to move around just to get them all in one spot, and then I should be pretty right. And I've got a few little green ones I've got to snip off with a little Ryobi reciprocating saw, and then we should be pretty good. Alrighty. Oh, I was filming this, and there's a hell of a carry-on with the cats. I think Black Kitty might have bitten Tabby Cat in the ears again, or something. I don't know. Made a hell of a noise. And they seem all right enough now, but yeah, anyway, I hate it when they fight. They tend to do it. It always used to be Tabby Cat annoying Black Kitty. Now it's Black Kitty biting Tabby Cat's ears after she licks him. Cleans his face and then decides to sink the teeth into the ears or something stupid. He's not bleeding anyway. Yeah, all this stuff here is the burning remains. She'll see tomorrow, most likely. I went through all this area that I've only walked through twice in between the box thorns and the cypress trees, and as you guys know, I've been cutting all the good stuff out, the stuff that's as thick as my arm or thicker, and you know, like 2.5, 3 inches or bigger. And I cut all that out of all the little collapsed sticks and rubbish, and I trimmed a few of the sticks off the trees and all the stuff off the logs that have fallen down, and created a bit of a bonfire. And she sort of may have burned a few little twigs on the end of one tree here, a little bit too close, got a bit too tall. No big deal anyway. Had the knapsack there and I just sprayed it out when it started, when it caught on fire. And I didn't quite get the whole lot on initially, and I still had a bit in there that was the gangles. I should have shown it when it was all gangles, because to be quite honest, it was so... cut all the big hunks out, and then you had so many little bits, you're battling to bloody walk through it for all these little tangles of shit all over the place. So I got almost all of them out, 90% of them out, burned them initially, and then as the fire was burning down, I threw the last 10% on. And then I got in there with a rake, and about a quarter of the entire area of all these box thorns I raked. All the little sticks, the ones like as big as my finger, up and threw them on the fire as well. And they're just, the last of those is just burning away slowly here. For long this will stop burning altogether, and I shall make my merry way to the on-grid house and probably have a shower or whatever. Yeah, just looks like a big glowing red mass with a few green flames coming out right about now. It's good anyway. Now I can walk through this area. I've only walked through this area once before, and then the second time was when I videoed it for you guys. And that's it. In 5 years I've only walked through 2 times. And now it's clear enough that you can walk straight through without getting your foot tangled on anything. And the only thing that's there is a few really big logs that I'm going to have to tow out with a tractor, because I'm not going to be able to physically lift them. One I could probably nearly lift, but it's probably not worth doing me back in over it. Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy access now into there, which makes it good, you know. I'll show you tomorrow the big heap of stuff that I've stacked against the stone wall. I've still got to get about another 6 or 7 little bits that I put in another area and put those in there. I got them all thrown over the wall in one patch, except there's other 6 or 7 which are sort of further up. Instead of fighting my way through all the gangles to get him in that patch, I just put them there temporarily. But I'll put them all together tomorrow, and then you'll get to see how much of the small wood that I pulled out that was actually worth pulling out, and there's a bloody lot. Some of it I got from when I cleaned up the jungle, so to speak, there, and went in there initially. Some of it's from that, right up near the gum tree there, and the rest of it is stuff that I've pulled out of here, and there's quite a bit of stuff I've pulled out of here. Anyway, it's reasonably cool and dark. I don't think I'm working again tomorrow. Not that I work today, but I got some stuff done, as I said before. Yeah, I shall show all that then. Yeah. Poor old tabby cat. Started licking him on the head again, and then decided to go and bite him in the neck. And he retaliated, and I broke it up. And she seems to be rather fat. Now, I don't know if they can still get fake pregnancies when they're been spayed. Maybe. Don't know. You'll have to ask a cat expert that one, but I checked it for milk. Not happy, don't touch me there. She had no milk, but she does seem very doughy in the belly. It almost seems like a deliberate lump. It sort of makes me wonder if it's not a swollen uterus from a fake pregnancy or just fat. And I thought it was just fat, but it might be a fake pregnancy and she's sort of all bloody hormonal. Because I also remember this morning she decided to bite me on the hand, which she usually doesn't do. Tabby cat will do that if you I've been patting him for too long and he's getting sick of it. But Black Kitty doesn't do that unless it's shower time. So yeah, you also may notice something strange. It's the middle of winter and I'm still using 240 volt lights. That's right, I've still got the inverter on. We've just had so many bright days that this may be the first winter that I leave the inverter on the whole damn time because we have enough solar power to justify it. And it's better than those LED lights, I will admit. I don't like leaving it on too long, but you know, we get enough bright days that I can actually use it and I'm not worried about the standby power that the inverter takes, which is around about a constant 3 watts. I've done all the maths in the book they had there. And yeah, it makes it a lot easier to light the wood heater because you can see what the bloody hell you're doing, because you get enough reflected light off of the wall behind me to see what you're doing in there, whereas with the little LEDs they're only directly above the bed. Up there you can see the side of the bit of wood that I've got the switch mounted into. Yeah, those of you who always wondered why there's all cables on the ceiling as opposed to in the roof space, it's mice. Cables wouldn't survive if they're in the roof space because they get bitten through too often. Black Kitty used to go up there every 4 to 6 weeks and flush them all out, but she hasn't been up there for shit the whole winter, which is sort of not... Oh, she might have been up there once. Yeah, I think she was. But generally speaking, like, or maybe it was the end of autumn, but generally speaking she goes up there a lot more than she has been. And flushes them all out, and you should hear when she's up there, you can hear the footsteps, boom, 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 and then you hear the mice just scrambling like hell, and they go for this outer wall, because they can go down the flashing that's covering the corner, and then go out the bottom. so they scramble like shit to get out of the place when they realise that a cat's coming for them in the roof space. But anyway, I think that's it. I'll call it a day, and yeah, show you guys that stuff tomorrow. Yeah, I've just unplugged the hose here, so it's just dropping down fairly quickly. You know, just letting it run all over the driveway because everything else is basically full. Still raining a little bit. In a while, I've got to have breakfast yet, but in a while I'll go and show you the ash and the stack of wood and all that I was saying about. Yeah, sort of been raining since late last night, sort of on and off, more on than off actually. We've got 8.5 mil. Everybody else started getting rain yesterday apparently, and I thought, oh, here we go, this is another one where everybody else gets rain and we get nothing. The eastern part, and particularly northeastern part of the state's been just bloody near flooded out, and you know, we've got jack shit basically, but we've got 8.5 mil between, it's 10 o'clock now, we've got 8.5 mil between, well, probably 10 o'clock last night and 10 o'clock now, which is sort of, in American terms, that's between, somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch. So that's better than my standard 1/8 of an inch after an entire day. If we basically get the night and a bit of the next morning, and get 8.5 mil out of that. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get going with breakfast. Here, Black Kitty. I found a blooming boxthorn spike in Tabbycat's tail, so that might have been something to do with all the shenanigans last night, but I don't think so, because so many times he'll go squealing and running, and then she'll be running behind him, and sort of get the general idea that they've been fighting or whatever. Anyway, I get something to eat. Another day off yet again. I won't be working a great ton of days, I don't think. I think it's one of these things that at the moment it's pretty obvious the economy's you know, things overseas have calmed down from Brexit, but then we're all like stunned mullets until we work out who's actually won the flaming election. Nobody's really, you know, a lot of people are sort of holding off spending until they have an idea of what policies and crap we're going to be looking at, and it's just that uncertainty hanging in the air over here due to this election. So, and also, you know, really speaking, who wants to be carrying couches in the piss and rain? Who wants to get their couch wet? Who wants to get their mattress wet? Nobody. So it's, and all winters are always slower economically. Sort of funny, you know, out of 27 resumes, yeah, I got one part-time, one call back, and a part-time job from that. But anyway, it's better than nothing. Keeps the ball rolling, and yeah. This is a sign the rain's going pretty good here. That tap's open. That's just draining all out in front of the wood pile, and it's going so hard that it can't drain out the half-inch line quick enough. It's raining too fast. The thing's open and it's just gushing straight out on the ground, right where the connection is to the pipe going down the hill. That's completely open, and it's out running. It just can't get out the line quick enough. So we've got more than what you can fit through a half-inch hose coming through the system. It's also does this thing where it's not letting the air out through the mesh, because all the mesh is wet, and then it gets like a surface tension of water across the whole mesh, and then it bubbles up and sometimes blasts over the side, as you can see it's doing all there. It's just backed off in the last 10 or 15 seconds, but gee, she's roaring a second ago. Yeah, slide off a touch. Yeah, so it's all about anyway. I've been looking in, because I've been mucking around out where the trees are, I've been looking at the grass inside where I got all the melaleucas and all that planted, the little trees, the tree guards around them. And the grass out there, I'm not joking, is only probably not even a foot. And that's stuff the sheep haven't got to, you know, and we're halfway through winter. Now, theoretically, on a normal year, that shouldn't be bloody up to here on me. That should be damn near up to me knee, you know, and yeah, we just haven't got the rains that we've expected, which happened last year. We got jack shit rain, and seems to have happened so far this year, but we're with a bit of luck it'll come, and it's, you know, if this sort of stuff keeps up, we might be able to get what we're looking for. I don't think we will, but at least it won't be as bad as last year. But it still won't be the 22 to 24 inches expected. We might you know, get 6 inches in the winter and maybe a couple more inches in the spring. This is going berserk again. It's up even higher. There's no blockage or anything, because that's all, no leaves are in there. It's just, I think it's actually where it comes out, that little tap is actually like a 3/8 inch connection, because I can slip the 1/2 inch hose straight over it without a problem, as you can see there. So I think we're sort of actually restricted to 3/8 of an inch, not 1/2 an inch, but either way, I didn't expect it to. And you just imagine if this was coming from this side, and this one at the same time, it wouldn't happen. It would just overflow. And I'd be hoping it's this one that was overflowing, not that one. That one tends to take preference over this one. But having said that, you wouldn't want to be here and still have the funnel connected and have it, that one take preference, and this one just piss all over the floor in here. But fortunately I've got everything disconnected on this one, which, you know, that's the thing, it's alright when you got slow rains. When you got fast rains, I mean, this is like this just draining just out there, just right past the edge of my laundry. How would it be if it had to still take it all the way down the hill? It'd be far slower again, it'd be overflowing already. But this is what it's all about anyway. Getting a decent amount of rain for the grass and helping the sheep along. Don't know that any are actually taking shelter inside that. That's where I burnt it out, in the back of there. That was the one I showed you guys about a week or so back, week or two. Anyway, got to work out what the hell I'm going to do this day, and it's going to have to be something inside, because it's sure as hell not going to be outside now.